at the Velvet Lounge and not doing anything in particular. This is our game room. We have parties. We watch movies. When Daisy's friends are over, this is where they all hang out. And yes, we like movies. And we also like concerts. So we have lots of, these are vintage concert posters from plays that we've gone to. We have some of those. This is a piece of German glass artwork. This is one of my favorite posters. It's an antique, and it was given to us by a friend who we do a lot of projects with when I talk about picking. I love this mirror. It's actually meant to go like stand on the floor the long way, but I decided to mount it up sideways on the wall. And that was quite a project. I can say we probably laughed and giggled a lot as we tried to get that up there. Let's go through here. This is my favorite artist ever. May the gods rest his eternal soul. Prince Rogers Nelson. And actually, Al and Daisy got that for me as a birthday present, framed and all. I want to say like maybe 3-4 years before he died, which was a tragedy. Yes, we still have balloons that are up from a celebration that we had. This mirror, it took a lot to get it up here. And Daisy and I have never laughed so hard in our lives. Can you see me? Hello, I'm in the mirror, I think. Al's favorite football team. And I can't remember this guy's name. But great, great musicians. We love musicians. And we like art. And the chessboard is always ready. Ew, I hear Eric Clapton. Waiting so long, waiting so long. So I don't know what you guys are doing this evening. We're not doing much. It's raining. It's actually cold. We were running around all day to the point everybody in the household, when Al got out of work, when Daisy and I got home, because she went to a law class, her first law class. It was an unofficial one where she was allowed to sit in on a class as a visitor, and she was all excited and everything, and she thought it was going to be like really, really different, but she actually was like, hey, I basically, other than knowing the case they were working on, because she didn't have the case in advance, she could participate in the class. So that was awesome. But her official classes start in the fall. So she was allowed to go visit and sit in on a class whenever she wants. And she did that. This is our vintage Jackson 5 Diana Ross and the Supremes poster from 1971. These are the posters that would have hung on like telephone post, or like the lobby of a concert hall. You could see the pinholes from where this was actually hung at some point. And it's a real deal Holyfield. This is not my favorite, but it was actually given to me as a gift, because they knew that I collected antique concert posters. This is Sammy Davis Jr. But what I do like is a special guest was Billy Eckstein, who is a singer with the Sonny Constanza Orchestra. So that was that's cool. And oh my god, we've been to too many of his concerts. Like every Prince concert, there's also a Lenny Kravitz, who I totally love. And this poster is pretty huge. But I love the whole fire and the oranges and the reds and the crowd that's almost shadowed in. Very cool. Take to paradise. Record bags will leave tonight. I got 2 tickets to paradise. So, like I said, we're not doing anything in particular. I was checking out Being Live that was equally as bored. And if you have any questions or anything you want to just shoot the breeze about, we could have done that. But it seems as if everyone is just hibernating, which I don't blame you. Like I said, here it is cold, it is rainy, there's a lot of fog outside. Um, what else can I tell you about? Our dog has been acting up all day because she wants to jump on the couch and snuggle up with Bull, and we really technically don't allow her to jump on the couch, but sometimes she's super cute, so we allow her to do it. And because I just turned the heat on in the house, it was like 60 degrees in the house. So I was like, let's close. So literally, we had some windows cracked. That's another reason why it was cold. And so I closed all the windows and also turn the heat on, so now she's sort of like happier. So I think that the dog was literally freezing to death. Not to death, but she was cold, and that's kind of funny because I'm like, you're a dog, like, are you really cold? And she was just looking at me like, aren't you gonna pick me up? Can I get on the couch? And I was like, no, but you could go lay in your pile of covers or on your bed. She has like 3 beds on one floor of our house and 2 on the upper floor of our house. She has a little dog. But I left the television on for her on Animal Planet, and now she's snuggled up in her covers. The heat is on, and she's warm and happy. Al is watching. Oh my god! I'm sorry, but I think baseball is boring. I know it's so bad, right? But I do, and he's like watching baseball, and I don't know how he can stay awake like watching it. Daisy, of course, is watching YouTube videos, and you see what I'm doing. Nothing in particular. I could tell you guys more about the pick that we had, and I showed you some of the videos of the stuff that we got. I cannot wait to show you this geo that we got because I showed you some of the crystal formations that we got. But this geo, it weighs like maybe 60, 70 pounds. It may even weigh upwards of 80 pounds. It is huge. It is gigantic. And it's like inside, which geos are like rock formations. And when you crack them open, inside there may be a crystal formation. And inside this one, the crystals are like purple and white and clear. And there are different shades of purple from like light lilac to like a deep, rich purple. The stones inside are like amethyst as well as just the white crystal. I'm not sure what the in quartz. And I think there's like one more type of stone inside that I can't really recognize. So we are going to be challenges because we're going to be posting it for sale. It's going to be delivered here to our house in like a week or two. So the guy that we partner with, he actually agreed to drop it off. Well, first he'll take it to a storage unit because that particular project he's working on has to be done this week. So that Monday it's ready to roll and completed. And so he's going to take it to a storage unit. Then he's going to bring it to our home I'm just hoping that it's safely traveled and well packaged because the value of it is pretty high if it's still in the same condition, which was absolutely perfect and pristine as when we saw it and, put our ownership stamp on it at the work site. So when we get that, I will let you guys, I'll do a video, let you see what it looks like. We also found a couple things for Daisy's apartment because when she goes to law school, she's going to be, we're renting an apartment for her because it's, for her to be as close to the law school as possible. And she's also going to be part of, she's already received invitations to two prestigious groups that are national. And I will do a video about that, I'm sure, at some point. And so, in order for her to be close enough to the law school to, participate fully, and the fact that she wants to use like public transportation, she does not want to have a car. She doesn't want like to have to deal with a car, or if she did have one, one of the deals we had is that she would have to like take care of all the expenses for the car. And I understand with, even though she received a dean's scholarship for her academic achievements, and today school because you had to student going to this law school. So, and of course, she's been working at a law office all, for several months now, almost a year. So, and then she also received another scholarship, which was another private scholarship from a private citizen due to her achievements in the community as well as with her success with the competition mock trial team. And so she's raking in the cash. Cash money is unfortunately what you need in order to go to college here in the United States. For whatever reason, there is no belief that college should be free, and unfortunately, it should only go to those that either have high academic achievements, are amazing at sports, or that can simply afford it. And then, I mean, I do believe that, like, this sounds horrible maybe for some people, that if you're poor, you actually have an opportunity to go to college. You may not be, you may not be able to go to every college of, that's not true. I think even if you could get into Yale or Harvard easier than someone that's a middle class citizen, and they need to have enough cash in scholarships and or money in the bank in order to afford to go to some of those schools. Daisy was accepted to all of the law schools she applied to, but it was amazing how much the funding as far as scholarships that she received varied. We don't qualify for any grants, like Pell grants, which are basically for people who have incredibly low incomes or they have a lot of kids or a combination thereof. We did not, so we as a family never qualify for anything because our income is too high over the threshold. We're not even over a threshold, we're beyond, fortunately, beyond, but unfortunately. And the reason I say that is because I still have an issue with kids having to, like, not having the option, like, for whatever reason, college to me, or trade school, because I do believe, trade school is right for some people and college is right for some other people. It's just the way it is, and there's nothing whatsoever wrong with that. And I see them almost as equal. But the thing is, here in the US, I don't think that kids should have to make a choice based on finances, whether or not they continue their education. I think that it should be an extension, after high school. It should be, either you want to do it or you don't want to do it. And your choices are military, college, or trade school. Or you don't have to do any of the three. But knowing that you have to make a choice based upon how much it costs is crazy. Plus, the cost of education here is absolutely insane. Um, I don't know why it's so expensive, but it definitely should be something that's more affordable. Yes, if you go to a state college and live at home, that's the cheapest to go. But I think that like after high school, college, and or if you have like a trade school with a campus and hopefully you can like move away and afford it, I think it's a great practice for young people, for going out into the world versus, I lived with my parents all my life. Now I'm going to go out into the world and struggle alone. At least if you're on a campus, you're surrounded by a school, a college or a trade school or something like that. At least you're not alone. You have campus security, you have other people who are striving, kind of towards the same goals, because everyone else's goals, differs a little bit, but at least you're not alone. And it's good. And of course, with tuition, room and board and food, that you'll have a place to live, that you'll have something to eat. So, you have heat, water, except, the basic necessities of life. But then after you graduate, I think you're more prepared for getting that apartment, or who knows, maybe you move into your first home or something. I purchased 21 college and working full time for the American Automobile Association. And my career just, took off and skyrocketed, which was amazing, to the point that I was able to retire before I became like a super old person, because of investments and saving our money. And we don't believe it. We like having nice things, but we don't like having a lot of things. And we don't need a lot of things. And we're not gamblers, so we were not going to like waste our money at the local casinos, which are kind of far from where we live. But regardless, like, if we ever go gambling, because I'm just finding a lot of people, and the reason I mentioned gambling is because I noticed that a lot of people in Connecticut seem to be losing their fortunes, at the casinos. But because we were smart about our earnings, we've I've been able to retire. Al, he probably is going to retire in a few years because he wants to get 30 years in. He could retire when he was at 20 years. And right now he's at like 27 and a half, I think. So, and we already know what we're doing as far as retirement jobs go. I'm already doing ours, which is our family business of reselling on eBay, Facebook, using our Black Book for personal sales. And that's why I show you, and we're going to probably open up more about that in the future. We're even thinking of spinning off our Facebook channel and opening up a channel that's strictly based upon reselling antiques, collectibles, vintage things, because so many people have questions and we've been so successful with it. And we do want to share that knowledge. As you notice on this channel, we've been sharing that knowledge. Nothing we're doing is a secret. But if you want to retire like I did at an early age, it really does take discipline. And because I was working so much, that's another thing. I was working so much and traveling around, whatever for work, that I really didn't have time to like spend any money anyway. And my daughter was up, figure skating under the United States Figure Skating Association. And of course, my husband, he was probably the one that worked the least because of the way his job is. He could do that and be the go-between when we needed things, but he did have his full-time job with the state. So, we are going to be sharing information on that. Thank you to the two people who dropped in for a few minutes. I saw you. I saw you. But the other thing that we're going to be doing is talking more about lifestyle because Al and I have been actually, because what we wanted to do is see how successful we could be with some diet and lifestyle changes because we're trying to regain part of our youth. I don't know if you could tell how old we are, but we are pretty dusty, like we're almost antiques. So, or at least we're vintage, I think. Um, so, and then with our daughter going away to law school, it's like time for us to get our grooves back on. Like Stella got her groove back. And so we've like changed things in our diet. We like even from the beverages that we consume, obviously to the foods that we eat. And we've started exercising more and the good thing about that for me is, of course, I mean, both of us, is weight loss, like you start trimming down. But part of it is we also want to maintain, our trimmer physiques. And we're not there yet. Like we have a ways to go. But we wanted to see, like, can we do this for like 5 or 6 months? And because what usually happens is within like 30, 40 days or less most people are just, going back to their old habits. But the great thing so far, knock on wood, is that we have, wait, my sister in law gave me this. Knock on wood, the inappropriate lady, nutcracker. She opens, and in between her legs, you put a nut and slam it shut. So that was my knock on wood. But so since we were able to maintain that so far, we think it's time that we, share some of, I guess, some more of our own personal lifestyle. So I guess we'll be more of a lifestyle channel if we're not already. And, I want to thank, people who tuned in live. The reason I'm trying to do some videos live is just to get comfortable with it. And also to, this is really funny, but I don't want to edit anything. I don't know how to edit. If you look at our other videos, nothing is edited. Um, I don't know if I'll ever even get to that point. I don't have the desire. I have no reason. I have no idea why, but I don't have the desire to do that. And I'm actually going to turn around this way. I'm on the other side. We have like these two giant leather couches in here, so because I want to see Prince in the background. There he is. So I mean, if anyone has any, I can give me information as to an easy, quick, or I know that because a lot of people complain about their editing on YouTube, like it takes a long time. But if let me know what tools you use for editing, so that I could try some out to see if we can finally find something that makes sense. Especially when it comes to the cooking videos. That's why I haven't, put up any new ones in a while because I have to shoot. I actually have to cook the dish, put the cooked dish to the side so I have it to show at the end. And then what I do is I prepare the dish on the video and then I show you the finished dish, which I actually cooked a version of before the video. I started shooting the video because I don't know how to like pause or take different clips and merge them all together into one easily. Like there's tools out there for doing it, but the thing is I don't know. I find the tools to be tedious. I don't know why they have to be so complicated. So just let me know what you use. And like I said, I'm not trying to shoot a movie quality or a high quality television type video. We're just slice of life, real deal, Holyfield kind of folks. So that's what I'm trying to shoot. So I want to give a shout out to Megan Fox. She is so amazing, so kind, so nice. When I first started doing this, I actually found Soulful Tea, who is Tanya Waller, and I found Megan Fox. And of the two, Megan Fox has actually remained my friend and supporter. And Tanya now has, I want to say, like maybe 200,000 viewers, or very close if it's not 200,000. So I think that she became too big time. So now I don't even, I bet you if I sent her a message, she would know who it was from. But we used to send her kids books and stuff like that. So it's nice to know that out in the YouTube world, there are real people who are very supportive of each other and, help each other out with information, as well as, my subscriber count is very low. But actually it's growing. It is growing and I really appreciate it. It is definitely growing. But it is, I don't have hundreds of thousands of people or anything like that viewing. But that's okay because one of the things my daughter likes is she's like, I could keep tabs on you and dad while I'm away at law school. I wish you had did this while I was in college. Also, it's sort of a record of our lives for whenever the future grandchildren arrive. I know Daisy says there's going to be only one, and as I said in a previous video, I want at least like two or three. If they're triplets or twins, that's totally fine if they come at the same time. And yeah, that would be awesome. And I just think it would be the greatest thing. And I think Daisy would be so cute with kids. But I know she's concentrating on education first, and career will be second. And then eventually, whether she's married or not, hopefully there's some grandchildren, some little, I call them grand baubles, like little diamonds and pearls baubles. But that's where we are at this point, and I hope that you guys have a great night. And tomorrow, hopefully, will be sunny and a little bit warmer, because I want to wash my vehicle. And I'm going, like I said, I will be talking more about the pick that we had, as well as when the Geo arrives. I will definitely give you guys like a cool view of that because it's pretty impressive. And I thank the person who owned it for owning it and for it coming into our hands. It was a blessing of the gods. And have a good night. And please remember to subscribe. And if you hit the bell, then whenever we have a new video or we're online, you'll receive a notification. So please hit the bell for that. As well as if you have any questions or comments, please leave those below. We really appreciate it. And have a nice night.